Okay.
Ow.
Where were we before we were so rudely interrupted by the 1990s marketing campaign?
Florian's turn.
Florian, what would you like to do?
Yeah. Indiscriminate murder of civilians.
It's very discriminate.
Is a Moscap really a civilian?
He is when he's unconscious, tied to a post.
How far away would you say the green lightning is to Florian?
You can actually use a little ruler measurement. Should be pretty accurate.
It's 1 to 1, yeah.
Yeah, those are one
One
unit
to one
squares.
square. Yeah.
Okay, so
That's
yeah,
what,
he's a
15 squares? Is that what that means?
Yep.
Okay.
Now multiply by 5.
Definitely in range of a very powerful magic missile.
Okay. How powerful we talking, dog?
I'm gonna go 3.
9th level.
9th level magic missile. Florian, where did you get 9th level spell from? I found it.
Scroll.
I found it.
Found it on sale at an auction.
How awful would it be? It's like, oh, you found a 9th level spell scroll. It's just magic missile.
That would be awesome. Are you kidding
That
me?
would be rad.
9th level magic
80
missile?
11 magic
80
missiles?
That is 19 force damage.
Okay.
It could literally be any other 9th level spell, and you're talking about, like...
Lucius. Or Florian. Are you moving
Yes.
or staying put?
It's all 4s and 1s. This is the Florian way.
You rolled exactly the average.
I'm good here. I'm good here.
Good here. Okay, it's going to bring us to Alexander.
All right, let's go ahead and open things up with a sharpshooter shot on that guy.
Okay.
Want to make sure I have my attack bonus right. So +3. Hits an armor class of 19.
19 does hit.
This is a magical gun.
Okay.
Dealing 21 magical piercing damage.
Okay.
Second shot.
Yeah.
Hits an armor class of 16.
16 does hit.
Deals an additional 18 magical piercing damage. Haste shot. It's an armor class of... Oh, I'm blessed.
You are blessed.
Blessed.
Yes, because that's faithful naming.
19
19. And with that last shot,
for a lot.
the thing dissipates into the air and sparks no more. And
At one point,
30.
the 6 candles in the room all go out, and everything is dark again.
Alexander, your strength is hexed as Lucius is pointing his scepter directly at you.
Are we still on initiative?
No, not for the moment.
Okay.
So the big burly man has been cut down here. The thin gaunt man with the bandages is still up here. And who was the other one?
a boss cap.
Oh, right, yeah, the
Moss
moss cap is over here. He's still tied up.
I'm cutting them down. And
Okay, and they're all unconscious. The middleman here, though, as you get close enough to cut his bonds, you can tell he's definitely not human. In fact, it's difficult to tell what he is. Definitely not a kind of person that you see walking the streets in Dunfoss. But I guess I'll ask, because Gus has traveled around a bit, would Gus know what a Githzerai is? Does Treble know what a Githzerai is?
I was going to say, the player doesn't know what a Githzerai is.
Well, if you have the Monster Mag, you can look it up. But it looks like, if you've played the Oddworld games, which I've actually been playing quite a lot of this week, picturing one of the Mudokons is a good start. That gets you like 60% of the way there.
Is it in the Monster Manual or Volo's?
Monsters Manual.
Both, actually.
Yeah.
Either one.
Just wanted to take a picture of them. But no, Gus wouldn't know what it is.
Player
saying
character Githzerai rules are in Volos, though.
Yeah.
Hey, Brick, before we pass any more rounds...
Well, we're off initiative.
No, I know, but like before we pass any more time.
Yeah.
What was that guy wearing that was standing in the center of the arena?
Didn't get a good enough look at him. His face was illuminated because of the bright green flame, so you saw his had a wide-brimmed hat, but it looked green to your eyes.
I cast Locate Object, locating the nearest wide-brimmed hat within 1,000 feet.
And you get several pings way above you.
So the closest one is like way above us. All right, he got away.
Yeah.
And I
Alexander.
go tell Alexander.
Out of character,
and
Seeker,
Florian.
30 lightning damage have killed you.
30 lightning damage?
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay, that's what
It wouldn't have killed me instantly, but it
right. No,
probably
no,
got
it
me.
would have dropped you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, Lucius, I get that you're upset. I didn't like doing it, but that thing could have killed Seeker if he gotten hit like that.
Then he turns, points his scepter at Gustavus and says, "And you
Gus flips.
ask questions first, shoot second."
Gus,
You didn't even get a chance to ask questions.
Gus flips you off as he's checking over the moss cap for injuries.
He looks like he's been worked over. You see where he's been bruised. Part of his face is swelling. Other than some just superficial injuries of that nature, though, relatively good health. Just unconscious at the moment. Probably hasn't had anything to eat or drink in a while. And kind of the same thing for the big man and for the Gitzerai.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna cast Mending on Scrappy. I'm gonna pull out my Smith's kit and start hammering out these burns.
Okay.
I'm going to check the room to see if I can find where any like doors or whatever besides the one we came in.
Give me 2 seconds, if you would, please.
And I'll hand you the continual flame coin if you want to use that.
Yeah, and Seeker will, or rather, Seeker will take the continual flame coin and hand it to his familiar to fly it around.
Sorry, just getting some notes in order on my end.
How much was this to make?
50?
Might be worth having another one eventually.
I'm sorry, Seeker, so you're kind of flying around the room?
Yeah, I have my familiar flying around the room with the continual flame coin.
Yeah, so you see or flying around the edges of the pit, you do see where there are some ladders up against some of the edges, offering easy egress into and out of the pit.
What about the walls of the room itself?
Up on top, there's a ledge that goes all the way around the pit.
Yeah.
On this side, there is an opening. It looks like it continues. Along this top wall, you see some more places where shackles, where prisoners could be kept. And then up here, a couple more of these cages that have the doors torn off of them up on the upper ledge. And
Is there
every so
any
often, you see more of these circular holes. These are all flush with the upper ledge here. So these top 7, the 5 across the top and then these 2, the tubes will be 20 feet tall, whereas these 2 are only 10 feet tall.
Gus, is anyone conscious enough to answer a few quick questions?
It doesn't appear so.
Yeah. No, they're all dead now. Thanks.
Yeah, you shot one. Okay, so is there any way we can get one of them awake? I want to know whether or not we should be breaking them back to the moss caps. If they've been down here in this exact room for more than a month, and they haven't checked the room, then someone is on the inside and left these guys here on purpose.
Well, this guy is a moss cap.
Yes.
So what? Might have just been some schlub at this theoretical moss cap informant or whatever. Just wanted to get a guy who wasn't on the take out of the way.
Gus is going to gently, just kind of tap the side of his head to try and wake him up.
And after a few moments, he starts to come to, and he looks around bewildered. You can tell the man is very weak, and his lips are cracked and parched. And he looks up. And what?
Gus hands him a water skin.
And when he takes the water skin, he holds it to his face first, sniffs at it for a few moments. And he looks up, and you can start to see his eyes are welling with tears. I don't want to be tricked again. Is this a trick?
Again? No. And I'll take it. And I'll I'll gently take it back from him and take a sip of it and then hand it back to him.
And when you do that, he watches you swallow the water, and he watches it kind of trickle down your face and into your beard. Gus has a big, bushy beard, right?
No, he has mutton chops.
God damn it.
He's a detective.
Yeah, you're right. That's on me. Sorry. As he watches the water trickle down your face and your chin and your mutton chops, he does. He tips it back and gulps very greedily from it. And it's sloshing down his face and neck and soaking down into his chest.
I'll tell him to slow down or he'll be sick.
And when you tell him to slow down, he takes it away. And he swallows and gasps. And he holds the water skin forward. As if you come to end it, am I to die now?
No.
We're getting you out of here, but we
Yeah.
have to know, how long have you been down here?
And he shakes his head. So I had too much to drink at the pub after my shift. And I woke up in this dark place.
What day of the month was that?
Yeah, do you remember what holiday it was?
It wasn't a holiday.
How long?
He says this would have been Stepatir the 16th, so last week.
Okay, so it's possible that you did get moved here afterwards.
He tells you that he doesn't know anything, but he won't tell anybody that you've come down here if that's what you're worried about. It's just he starts pleading with you to bring him to safety.
I mean,
And Seeker kind of like furrows his eyes at him and say, "Why would we be worried about someone knowing we're down here?"
The Blackjackets, they put us on the door and said not to let anyone in or out. They gave us the where's our light source? Is it just on Scrappy in here?
I think
The familiar had it, actually.
Okay. So there's a little bit of light in the room that he can see, whoever's holding it. So he gave us the descriptions of 5 men in particular, and then he starts to slow down. You're them. You're them, aren't you?
Must be someone else.
Shakes his head. He said, I won't say you were down here. I won't give the report. Just for Rao's sake, please save me.
Yep, you got it.
you're already untied.
Yeah, but he has no idea where he is. He's still very weak.
What about these others? Did you see them be brought down here? How did you spot them at the time?
He looks around. Now I need to know where my light source is. This guy's a human. He's not going to be able to see unless you illuminate something.
And I'll send the familiar over to the burly man who's tied up near us.
And he kind of screws his face up a little bit. Says, I know that man. That's Orc. He's a hired muscle for the gentleman out of Wharftown.
And the other?
Flying the familiar over to the Githzerai, the moss cap shakes his head. Says, I don't know that one. There were others, I think. I don't know how many.
Lucius responds with only a pained expression. I think your host meant for a what am I trying to say? Meant for some sport, for his own amusement.
Alex is going to go over, grab the coin, cover it, and at the same time he's doing that, he'll hammer another 5-foot light radius into Sparky, and have Sparky stand next to the guy.
Sure.
And I'll just walk over to Lucius and say, look, Lucius, let's not let him see what actually happened here, too. Let's just get them out of here.
What's next?
I think we need to get the 3 of them out of here, sounds like, right?
Yeah.
We've got another 7 hours and some amount of time until the shift is up that we can get to it quietly. I don't know that I necessarily trust this guy to be able to convince other people to ignore the fact that we were down here.
And he starts shaking his head. I won't. I didn't see anything of importance, and you saved my life, leastwise.
What's your name?
He tells you that his name is Christus Glavis.
What's your patrol?
He patrols. Well, recently his patrol has been in and around Wharftown, which is where he knows Orc from. He says he has. He describes a quick scrape they had 1 or 2 nights ago, and then he corrects himself. I suppose more than a week, if it's been that. Before that, his patrol was. I'm sorry, no, that was his previous patrol in Wharftown. Recently, his patrol has been on this door.
Yep.
So here's the problem I have with going out through that entrance. Is we have to assume there's more entrances here because listen, we managed to get through, but I don't see how they could have gotten 6 unconscious people through there the same way that we did. So there has to be another entrance.
I don't doubt you. I'm sure there's another entrance. At the same time, the guy did just disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine he climbed the ladder.
Yeah, if we want to check this area to find if there's any other exits. Otherwise, we can bring the guard over, wait until the shift changes, bring him up top.
And Seeker says he got out through some means other than running, because the closest object that matched something that he was holding was very far away. There just wasn't enough time for him to have gotten out just being invisible.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to. You said his name was Orc. So I'm going.
He called
to
him
gently...
Orc, but the man's still unconscious.
I know. He's not an Orc.
Is he human?
Yes. Very.
And I'll
very
hand
big
Gus
human.
the continual flame coin covered.
We're talking like a Shaquille O'Neal sized human, easily.
Yeah. I mean, would Gus would be at least familiar with the gentleman.
I'll leave that up to you, whether or not you
Yeah.
know this guy or have seen him around or have worked with him.
I don't think I've worked with Gus. Hasn't worked with him, but
Mhm.
like they're aware of each other's existence.
Okay.
And I'm going to gently slap him awake.
All right. What's your
Just
AC?
tap him awake. 21.
21. So when he wakes up and takes a swing at you, you know instinctively to pull back, and he just catches the air. And again, this man's been bruised pretty badly, and he's dressed up in rags. He looks up and matches your eyes, and Gus. He looks around. What happened?
I don't know. I was hoping you could tell us. How long have you been down here?
He looks around, and he sees Christus still sitting over there. You got us into this. And Orc starts to get to his feet and starts to try to cross towards
Gus
him.
pushes him back down on the ground.
Okay.
Like
And
just hold.
normally you probably wouldn't be able to do this easily, but the man is in a severely weakened state.
Also leverage.
I don't know, that old woman got away from him.
She was 10 feet tall.
Listen, if Birdie can do it, then anybody can.
Birdie succeeded on an unlikely number of strength checks. Gus,
Yes.
make a persuasion check. You can either use charisma or strength for this roll.
Strength.
Yeah, strength. I don't know. Let me think about it. That is a. I have to do math because I'm using strength.
Yeah.
That is
It's like counting. It's not really math.
4
It's
plus 3,
arithmetic.
7 minus 1, 6. So that's an 18.
18?
Yeah.
You persuade Orc to hold his position by just kind of interposing yourself. Like, he's got to go through you to get to this moss cap, and he's in no condition to do that. With that, he settles down a bit. And he relates his side of the story of whatever scrape they had outside of a pub when this moss cap was off duty. Threatened to bring me in, he did. I guess we're both in it now, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. Apparently, you guys have been down here a week.
He shakes. My head's swimming. I'm not really sure. What you got to drink?
Gus pulls out his other water
What's
thing
in it?
That's not water,
Okay.
and I hand it to him. It's just probably just straight running hooch.
Okay. And he empties it.
Gus frowns at him and says, "Oh, come on."
What's next?
Party foul.
For reference, Brick, I cast Mending 6 times over the course of that to repair Scrappy. So,
Okay, that's fine.
just so you know.
No issues.
Let's check to see if there's any other doors to the outside in this immediate area. There's a door over there, I think.
There is an
And if
opening in the wall here. It looks like the passage continues.
The Gith is still unconscious.
He's still unconscious.
Do
See.
we think if we leave these two here, they won't try and attack each other? What do you think, Gus?
I think that Orc will try to beat the crap out of this man.
Okay, why don't you stay on that for a minute? We're just going to take a quick look at the rest of the room, see if there's another way out.
Do you want me to just send my familiar down there with the coin? See if he finds a quick exit out? Probably faster than us, other than the badger.
While they're doing that, I'm going to try and revive the Gith.
Okay.
And for reference, Brick, because these are both humans, I have made it a point not to allow any light such that they could see the dead bodies in the other half of the chamber while we were talking to them.
Yeah.
That's why I'm using the coin sparingly and using the light nails.
And I'm sending Whisper with the coin down that tunnel to see if there's easy exit out.
There is not. This is a short tunnel. You go up a couple stairs and comes to a dead end.
That seems unlikely.
Let me go, you want to go investigate?
Yeah, let's go investigate.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop a cigarette in my mouth and do some investigation looking for secret doors.
Okay. Seeker. You and Scrappy. Everybody's coming in, huh?
Not Gus.
Alex goes to the back wall.
Mhm.
And Seeker, as he's going to the back wall, he falls through the floor.
Can I make a reaction?
I have Featherfall.
Are you going to cast it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had it prepared all campaign.
Before you do,
Okay.
go ahead and make me a dexterity saving throw.
Sure.
Let's see how far you fall before you manage to gain your composure enough.
Dexterity of saving throw 14, unless it's magical fall.
No.
Magical gravity.
So
Magical
Alex
fall.
is moving towards the dead end here, and when he goes to put his foot on this last floor tile, it just goes right forward. He tumbles forward and disappears out of sight. Alex, you get banged against this very narrow tunnel, like maybe 7 or 8 feet around. Just banged here and there a little bit, but you manage to gain your composure, cast Featherfall. And you realize that against the far end of this vertical shaft, there are handholds in the walls. And you manage to reach out. You can stop your fall entirely by grabbing onto one of these. So you've only fallen down maybe 10 or 12 feet. And then looking down, these handholds just climb down and down and down out of sight.
Well, why would I climb? I'm just going to let the Featherfall take me.
You're going all the way down?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and Alex snaps his finger, and his cigarette explodes into a big burst of smoke around him that sort of forms into these large billowing clouds that slow his descent.
So
And Seeker looking downwards and seeing that says, okay, come on, that's magic.
you don't see that at all, Seeker. When you look down, you just see the floor tiles. However,
Okay, yeah, that was my next question.
you hear the sound of
Lucius steps
Alex
up.
hitting the walls on either side as he falls down for a moment.
Lucius steps up. Secret, what happened?
Fake floor, I'm alright.
Seeker waves. Fake floor, he's alright.
Lucius casts fly, goes down after him.
Okay? Gus,
Yeah.
you get the Githzerai awake. And he opens his eyes and looks around. As I have been awoken from a dreamless sleep. And he looks up at you. So are you God?
Yes.
So the question, no, I am not God. Although I'm going to go against Ghostbuster logic here.
He looks down at himself. He closes his eyes. And you see he kind of pats his chest. He says, I feel pain. And I have lived a pious life. So I assume you are not the devil either.
No, I'm a half-elf.
I must still be alive. Help me to my feet, brother.
I'll lift him up, since he's not, actively trying to punch somebody.
He's very not actively trying to punch anybody.
How long have you been... What's the last thing you remember before waking up here?
I remember going to sleep. I had not enough coin to rent a room, and it was raining in the city. So I found an awning in the marketplace that was quiet and dry. And I awoke here. I do not know how long ago that was.
Well, do you know what day of and I point to the sides. I'm like, they've been here a week. What day of the month was it when you came?
And he shakes his head. Says, I'm sorry, but I do not keep the Dunfossen calendar. All days are much alike to me.
Don't feel too bad. Most Dunfosses don't keep the Dunfossen calendar.
We didn't even know the months had names. He reaches back. You can tell he's trying to feel for something that's not there. He says, I would pledge my sword to you, but I seem to have misplaced it. For you have saved my life. You have my gratitude for now, if not my sword.
For now, just stay here. I'm going to get my companions. Just rest, and I'll hand him the half-empty water skin that I got from him.
And he takes one short sip from it, and then removes it from his lips.
Not very thirsty, are you?
He says it is the tenet of his faith to neither eat nor drink to satisfaction.
Okay. Lucius?
No response.
Lucius, you fly down through the illusory tiles, and after a few moments you catch up to Alex, who's below you. There's not really room to pass him. So it's really friggin' frustrating, because here's you in the left-hand lane, trying to get around, and he's moving at 3 miles an hour, friggin' Grandma Alex down here.
Alexander?
Yeah. Lucius?
I am very angry with you. I want you to know this.
This is still about the kid?
Yes.
Fair enough. Look, Florian at least absolved himself of responsibility by putting it on someone else. I appreciate you taking a more direct action.
Whatever helps your soul rest when it comes to its end.
Uh-oh.
All right. I want you to know exactly how I feel about this.
That's fair.
That
Again.
I will not. That next time we're in a situation like that, when there are hostages involved, we do our utmost to save lives.
I don't disagree, but you saw what happened when that thing was loose. It killed 2 other people. That first bolt would have killed Seeker if it hit him.
And at this point, you can see the floor start to come into view. It looks like in another 20 or 30 feet or so, you guys are going to land in the bottom of the shaft. And it looks like the floor is covered in straw or hay.
Lucius says, I'm going to have the same talk with Gustavus.
Gus
That-
didn't kill nobody.
He's the one who ran down into the middle and was set the guy off.
Look, I'm upset too, alright? Like, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but in a situation like that, we could have all been dead from 1 or 2 of those bolts.
And then your
you
boots
saw that
touched
the
down
woman
on the
got
floor.
killed by one of them. I just had to stop it.
And you can feel through the sole of your boots that you're not standing on stone tile. You're standing on something metallic.
What's the area look like if I fire up some light?
Fire up some light. The shaft never did get any wider. So after you touch down, after a few moments later, like Lucius, you both are kind of crammed into the same 5-foot square down here.
Hey, Lucius, fly up about 10 feet. Let me see if I can figure out if there's a trapdoor here.
So examining the floor, there is a door that would open up. You find a handle on one side. And you see an area in the handle that's notched. Like it could be grabbed with a hook on the end of a chain or a rope.
Is this in the wall or the floor?
In the floor below you.
Okay. And can I check that for traps?
Okay, go ahead.
It's an investigate of 14.
You don't find any traps as such.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's difficult to actually examine the door because it's so strange looking. It's bizarre. You wouldn't be able to open it while standing on it, obviously. It's meant to be grabbed with a hook or something and pulled open. But in the center of the door, there's a divot, an indentation, whereas the actual covering is like a hatch covering. And in the center of it is this indentation. And you think that the center of that would slide. This is a sliding mechanism, like a slat that could be opened or closed.
And it looks like I just need to apply force, but not be standing on it.
If you reach down and put your palm on the center of this indentation, you could slide just the indentation part open or closed.
Okay. Yeah, let's
Take
try
the
that.
weight off of it.
Yeah, can I climb up onto one of these handholds?
If you climb up onto one of the handholds, you're not going to be able to... Well, I guess you do it with your foot or your boot.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I have a spell for this. I cast Thaumaturgy. I can open that.
Okay. And there's a metallic sound as this slat in this indentation in the center of this metal door slides open with a clatter. And it's just darkness inside, but it opens into a very small space. The actual opening, this indentation, just big enough that you could put your hand down in it.
Am I getting oubliette from this scene here?
That's a very good word. Do you have one of those word-a-day calendars, or did you just watch The Labyrinth?
I mean, no.
No, Lucius, that's exactly what it is. This is a tiny hole where you can put someone in.
There's nobody occupying this place now?
Not that you can tell.
How far did we fall?
Looking back up, you can't see the top of the shaft, so it had to have been a couple of 100 feet down.
Lucius should have some idea, though, because he actually flew, right?
Yeah, that's why
I was
I'm telling
actually
him
flying downward.
couple of 100 feet down.
Okay.
At this point, you'd be well below sea level.
Yeah.
Real quick, because it's going to happen while you guys are doing some stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just... I don't see any good reason to have a dead end that just has a secret in the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have my familiar flying around and checking like the roofs and such for more of these.
Okay, let's get an investigation check.
All right.
Well, I think I'm starting to climb back, unless you want to carry me, Lucius.
I would say you don't deserve it, but that would waste time. Lucius holds out his hand.
All right.
How does investigation go?
That is a 3.
3. No other openings that you can tell in this hallway.
Okay.
Oh, should I... You know what? Before we leave, let me do one last thing. I want to investigate the, the oubliette to see. I doubt it, but there might be like some second hidden door or something inside there.
So you're going to open up the metal door and go actually down into the space?
Yeah.
Okay. It takes some wrenching. Like it's rusted shut. But eventually you manage to pull it open with a loud, echoey creak that's heard all the way up the shaft. It opens into this. The space that it opens up into is spherical, like a bubble in the stone. And it's not wider than 7 feet across on any side. So you drop down into it. The metal door is about 7 feet over your head, so you can just reach back up to climb out.
Oh, roomy for me, but can't imagine a human being in here.
And no, the space is empty. Nobody's in here.
Okay. All right, let's go.
And after a few more moments, Lucius pulls Alexander back up through the illusion tiles.
What's down there?
Oubliette.
Anyone in it?
No.
No trapdoors or anything inside that either.
Maybe that's where they kept the people before they put them out on display? I don't know. There's no other entrances that I can see in this hallway.
I don't.
That-
I mean,
That doesn't track with the story that we were given, though.
I don't necessarily think that the people that are using this place are the people that built it. So they might just. This might not fit to their. This may not be conforming to their needs.
Alex,
Maybe
make a
conforming
history
to what
check.
they have. History.
Yeah.
All right.
My rebuttal to that is that we've walked past lots of chains and cages and shackles and.
That's a history of 26.
Okay. You know that this compound was built to be a sewage or draining system, and that it ostensibly was never completed. The areas that were completed, the room that you just found, the oubliette, would have had to have been built into it. This is not a recent addition.
Yep.
What that tells you is that the people who built this place back in the day in Dunfoss had ulterior motives. If they were building oubliettes and just sealed prison rooms behind magical barriers, something very sinister was happening here.
And I've got background features and archaeologist that I can tell the type of people that built a thing.
Mhm.
Who do I think actually constructed this part of it? Like the because we've seen the sewers, but this is obviously, like you're saying, going beyond that.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying, is this is part of the sewers.
So it is like, I can tell if it's like dwarven or human stonework or stuff like that.
Probably a mix of both. Definitely Dunfossen. It doesn't depart from the tunnels and the rooms that you've seen.
So
up
they
to
didn't
now.
they didn't bring in some secret demon cultists or anything. It was whoever was building the rest of the thing built this stuff with the same intention
That's
as the
correct.
sewers.
You got a 26 on that?
Yeah.
How old are
The
these
only
things?
thing that standard workmen would not be able to do is put down illusory tiles like that. That would require some kind of magic contract with one of the existing guilds or colleges in Dunfoss. Whether or not it would be possible to find who did that, you have no idea.
Okay.
How old are the? How old is this construction?
Probably a few hundred years.
I think a lot of the guilds didn't exist a few hundred years ago, right?
About half of them did. Half of
Okay.
them didn't. I haven't actually written the details of the history, but it shakes out that there was a king of Dunfoss who was civically minded and had this big plan for this sewage system to drain out in the sea, and it just didn't go well, and eventually he died, and the next king scrapped the projects.
So what that tells me is either that king was a fool and didn't know what was going on underneath his nose, or that king was a really good liar.
One of the two. What's next?
There was another doorway that we passed on the way in. Am I reading the map right?
Yes.
Let's check that out. See if it's another way out, possibly.
I mean, where was the other door? Just over here?
Over
Like
here.
I think it's over here.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, if there's one illusory wall, there could be more.
I think the familiar's been checking those.
Yeah, I'm looking for that.
Let me
but-
go ahead and check this door for traps before we open it.
Yeah, now that we've seen one of them, I think we might know what to look for at this point.
I mean, it's not really a matter of spotting it because it just looks like the floor. You just more have to be aware. Like when you're
Yeah.
putting your foot down, make sure that the ground feels solid beneath your feet before you put your full weight down.
That's 26 on investigate.
I have good news and bad news for Alex. Good news is you do spot the trap.
Okay.
Bad news is it's a magical trap, so it's not something you're going to take apart with thieves' tools. But checking over the door, you notice a filament of something. Are you trained in Arcana, right?
Nope.
No. So you don't know exactly what it is, but you know there's a magical protection on this door that will be discharged if you attempt to open it.
Okay.
Hey,
Can you
Seeker,
point
do
that
you
out
have
to me,
Dispel?
Alex?
Well, yeah, would you spot that out?
Yeah, obviously.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to pull a piece of chalk out of my thieves' kit and draw a line around where it should be safe to touch it for Seeker.
Okay.
Because I would like to take a look at that.
Do you have Dispel Magic?
I don't.
Alright, I'm going
If
to...
you-
What do you want to do? Because I'm going to Dispel it.
I
So
was-
if you want to do
I was
something
gonna-
first.
I was going to try and identify what would happen if this thing discharged.
You mean like Arcana?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll help you with the Arcana. I'll assist you on that.
May I make that check, Brickroad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, I probably should have rolled that, but it's fine. Go ahead.
11.
11.
Yeah.
It's nothing that you're familiar with. All you know right now is it's dangerous. And
Beyond my
you
ken.
definitely would not have spotted this mark on the door if Alexander had not seen it first.
Okay.
I might have spotted that mark on the door because I actually saw this trap, although I didn't know the situation that it was going to come up in. As I use foresight to cast a spell magic on this door. Rolling a 22.
When you do that, the mark fades away from the door. And you double and triple check it, and it is really, really gone. It's not just
Nice work.
more invisible.
Okay.
Yeah, my thought with doing that was to see maybe get some insight into who placed the trap. But
Gus is down in the cistern watching you guys faff around. What are you doing?
Magical
Magic
trap on the
shit.
door.
Magical stuff.
Ah,
Yeah, I'll Strappy open the door.
Okay?
What?
And it goes into what's going to look to your eyes like a very well-furnished little room, but is actually empty except for the remains of a ragged blue rug laying on the floor.
someone vacated.
I'm gonna tell them to stay here. I'll be back, and I'm gonna.
I mean, we
find
can see
this-
them from the
The
top of this.
Gitzerai, as you go to leave, follows you. It says, "Honor demands that I follow you, brother."
Can you please watch these two to make sure they don't kill each other while I'm gone?
He looks back behind him. He says, "Is that your request?"
Yes, please.
And he crosses his heart with his two arms and says, "Then honor will see it done." And he turns back to the two men. Stands stoically over them.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Detect Magic. Not as a ritual, just cast it.
Okay. Bear with me 1 second. Seeker. You're trained in Arcana, yes?
Oh, yeah.
Give me an Arcana or a Perception check. One of the two.
Let's go with Arcana.
Okay.
It's deciding how important I think this roll is going to roll it. That's good enough. That is a 18.
So the problem with casting Detect Magic in a fantasy setting is there's kind of like a background radiation. There's like elves walking around, and people are putting like magic shit in their beer. So what you're actually doing when you cast Detect Magic is trying to find places that stand out from the background. When you first cast the spell in here, you think that there's nothing here. It's just a stone room with a rug, but there's something that's needling you about it. You're not totally sure what, but something feels like there was a strong magic presence in this room. And when you focus a little more, you do recognize, extremely faint traces of conjuration magic coming from underneath the rug.
All right, and I'm going to mention that to the others. And I say, did we ever go out and buy that pole?
I mean, if you need a pole, you can use my spear.
Yeah, I'll take it. And I'm gonna... Yeah, I'm actually going to, like, watch the badger go. I'm going to actually... That's a better idea. Can the badger poke that rug a bit?
Yeah, he pokes the rug.
Can Mage Hand poke this?
I guess I should really wait for Alexander to tell me that's what the badger does.
Oh, sorry. Did I was on mute for a second there. Yeah, no, I've got Scrappy.
Yeah.
I put the light nail on his back and I have him go poke under the rug.
Okay. When Scrappy kind of noses under the rug and starts to move it aside, you see big cracks in the floor tiles. Deep gouges where the tiles have been completely shattered. and just revealing the bare stone underneath. And as he drags it more and more across, you can see why. Seeker, at some point, near enough in the past that residual magic still lingers here, you can see where a broad circle, a teleportation circle, had been drawn into the floor. But it's completely smashed now. All of the tiles where this circle was put down have been completely destroyed with hammers or picks, you don't know. And then the rug thrown over top.
I think that was Hawthorne House that did that.
Lucius, make a history or an arcana check. One of the two.
Teleportation, sir.
Yeah, and Seeker, since Teleportation Circle is a wizard spell, we'll say it's also possible that they just don't want us knowing where they teleported to. You need to put a location on your circles.
25.
How does Seeker know how teleportation circle works?
It's a wizard spell.
Right.
I've been looking at wizard spell books.
Whose wizard spellbook?
It's not important. It's not important.
No, I have been looking at Caitlin Chubb's spell books.
Lucius, how'd you do?
25.
25.
Nat 20.
Knowing a little bit about how Hawthorne House operates, because... I'm sorry, was that history or arcana?
Arcana.
Arcana?
Yeah.
You know a little bit about how Hawthorne House operates, because sometimes they will bring in experts from Tilistus Apt to do this or that. The official stance of Hawthorne House and the King of Dunfoss, the Crown, is that there are no teleportation circles in Dunfoss. So, and you know for a fact that Hawthorne House has been through here relatively recently. So either the circle was destroyed before they came through, and they missed it, or they came through and destroyed it. And then, well, you wouldn't know, but either they revealed it to the Crown or decided to keep it under their hat. Either event, the public doesn't know anything about it.
Unauthorized teleportation circle.
But the state that it's in now, it would be absolutely impossible to get any other information other than it was a teleportation circle at one point.
Yeah, there's nowhere we're going to be able to glean any information from this thing. As far as where it was going to, or connected to.
Now I'll kind of like nudge the door closed a little bit. Now, just so those two out there can't hear me, what do you think if we bring them to the entrance and then maybe me and Gus stay back and investigate the bodies of the ones that got killed in that fight? Gus knows medicine, I know, looking for clues.
I don't see what help I would be on that end, on the end of bringing them back, but I might be able to help you with the bodies. I could spot
Sure.
something in this. Lucius, talking to whoever you need to pass these guys off to sounds more like your wheelhouse.
I figure if we just... I feel like if we can just wait for our plan and go up, you know, because we'll know when the shift change is. With that clock I have there, like...
Yeah.
I feel like we just send them up at that point, even if we want to stay down here.
That
So-
sounds like a plan to me.
We could also go up and rest in our own boat. Come back tomorrow.
Well, I actually prepared a spell if we want to be able to rest at least in some sort of safety. When I say prepared a spell, I don't mean actually prepared mechanically. I mean learned.
So what's next?
I think.
Gus, what are you doing?
I'm just kind of. I'm over here just standing. I'm watching them.
So, I mean, does anyone have a problem with that? Because my thought on the plan is Seeker, Gus, and I will check out these bodies that these guys won't be able to see because they're in the darkness, while I guess Florian and Lucius bring them back to the entrance.
Bring them back to the entrance, but then we'll bring them up after.
Yeah.
Hey, you have
Yeah.
detect. Would that floor have showed up with detect magic up?
Depends on how Brickroad reads Tech Magic. I'll go check.
I mean, if they were illusionary tiles, then yeah, they absolutely would reveal illusion magic.
Yeah, and Seeker goes over and looks and spots
How did Seeker get there?
I walked.
You
I moved
jumped?
my token.
Walked where? I mean, did you climb
the
down the
edge.
middle or go... When you
No,
go around
no,
the
no.
edge,
Oh, yeah, around the edge.
when
yeah,
you go
yeah.
around the edge, you don't even make it to the dead end because there are illusionary walls right here.
That was my next step, Rickard. I wanted to do that next.
But then you should have walked some other way.
Oh. And the Seeker will just be explaining that to Gus, like, oh yeah, they'll pop up as illusion. Pretty much the only thing that doesn't show up is invisibility, and that's because you can't see it because it's invisible. And then Seeker bumps into this and goes, oh.
So the wall looks very solid, but you're getting illusion magic from it.
And
I was
Seeker will point at it and say, Gus, knock on that wall for me.
Gus goes to boot the wall,
And you can't because it's not there. You just kick through it.
and I guess I just fall forward through it.
You don't fall
I
forward
didn't
through
expect
it.
you to fucking football charge. I said knock.
Lucius puts a hand through, then sticks his whole head through the gap.
Before this, what kind of light did you leave these guys with?
I gave them each a light nail.
Okay, so as you guys are moving your way back, what's happening now is the three of them are sitting around this light nail. They're kind of sitting very calm on the floor. You can tell that they're engaged in some kind of peaceful conversation being led by the Githzerai.
I'm going to step down there for a second and then say, we want to make sure the area is safe. Here, and Seeker will drop them a couple rations so that they don't starve to death.
And the
And he'll give them
Githzerai,
to the Githzerai because the Githzerai seems the most reasonable.
and he splits them up into 2 equal portions and gives them to the other 2 men.
And Seeker, seeing that, looks at the Githzerai and says, is this like a self-sacrifice thing, or are you fine?
He holds up his hand and says, I assure you my stomach is not in distress, brother.
Okay,
I will survive this day and the next.
that's good. I'll see you on the day after that.
No, you won't, because I won't be alive the day after that. Were you not paying attention? God damn you!
Kurt specifically enumerated every day he was going to survive.
Poking your head through, Lucius, you see a
Yeah.
broad hallway going down, and then turning off
Lucius-
sharply to the right.
Lucius reaches down, taps the floor, makes sure it's safe, and says, "No, there's a floor through here."
And Seeker will step through and say, I'll let you know if there's not one.
We need to take care of these men first. We need to at least get them somewhere.
This might be a quicker way out, though. Let's just make sure.
We'll just do a quick check, Gus. If it takes us any more than 5-10 minutes, we'll turn around.
Well, if it takes you any more than 5 minutes, your detect magic's going to run out.
Uh-huh. That's why we're going to turn around.
Is my
Rico,
fly
don't
magic
reveal
still
my
up?
internal thinking to Gus.
So what's
Is my
next?
fly magic still up?
How long did it last?
10 minutes.
10 minutes? No, that would be gone by now.
Okay then. Okay.
I'm going to have Scrappy keeping pace with Lucius.
Seeker.
Yeah.
Illusion magic.
And Seeker reaches into his pack and pulls out, and I don't know why I have this, a piece of chalk and draws a nice circle around it.
I mean, I have a piece of chalk to draw a circle around magical traps for you to dispel, so...
What's next?
Keep
Seeker
going,
is just
looking.
going to real quickly pull me out if I don't know, die, and dip his head a little through the hole to see if it goes down very far.
And it looks identical to the previous one that you found that led to the oubliette.
Okay. Hey, so it has like handholds,
Yes.
and I'll make a special note on the
Seeker.
part of the wall that has handholds.
20 feet away. Another square. Illusion
Yeah.
magic.
I don't know why I'm doing this. Like, this isn't for... I guess to show that it's the chalk is the pink part.
We're continuing down this tunnel.
Yeah.
You come to this far down the tunnel. Seeker.
Yeah.
Every 20 feet. Illusion magic.
And Seeker gets out his
Illusion magic.
square stencil.
Illusion magic. Illusion magic. And then beyond that, enormous, hideous blood smear all across the floor.
Illusion magic?
Not beyond this point.
Is it fresh blood?
No, it's a blood stain.
So this this blood sphere, Brickroot, and I want to know if I'm looking at the map and if the map reflects the reality of the dungeon. Kind of looks like something got hit here and the blood flew here. Is that how it looks in the situation as well?
Make a... It's called naked intelligence check, unless you've got... There's not a dungeoneering skill in 5th edition.
Go ahead
No,
and take a
I would've
figure out on that.
It's like a feat, right?
If you've got like stoneworking tools or something like that, would be helpful. Or
Does anyone have something like that?
or medicine, I guess, would also work.
I mean, an archaeology background, but
I have medicine.
Does it look like a bit?
Well, make the roll,
Alexander.
and I'll describe it in more detail.
Alexander, does it look like a big stone block fell out of this thing and then just started rolling down the hallway? That's a 24.
24. It looks like something very heavy splattered some poor bastard and then smeared him across the floor.
Yeah. Ed Seeker's going to say, hey, I don't see any illusion magic on the floor. He'll look up at the ceiling just to be sure.
Up at the ceiling?
Yeah.
And in the roof of the ceiling up here, something like this, you see a big chunk of the ceiling missing, like this big square spot. And looking up, there's an indentation that goes up maybe 10 or 15 feet or so. So it's 12 feet off the floor. That's how high the ceiling is. And then another 10 or 15 feet kind of bored out of the ceiling. It's not a perfect square, but it's square-ical.
Square-ickle.
Square-ical.
If I send my familiar up there to look at that hole, does it look bored? Like, does it look carved, or does it look like something just, like, wrenched itself out of the ground, out of the ceiling there?
It looks carved, but it's not been tiled over. It's not been worked. And in the top of the hole, you see some metal connections where something very heavy could be dangled.
But something's not being dangled right now.
Nothing right now, no.
And Seeker will just pause for a second, and then just have the familiar fly kind of straight downwards, just to make sure there's not something visible being dangled.